History Hounds, Sir Chuckleton here, and buckle up, Buttercups, because today we're diving into the internet's oldest viral moments. You think TikTok dances are groundbreaking? Please! Our first story, it's pure, unadulterated, ancient Roman chaos. Imagine, if you will, the year 69 AD, a year so wild it practically invented the meme before memes were even a twinkle in a digital eye. It was like a game of musical chairs, but with emperors, and the music kept stopping every few months. 4 emperors in 1 year? That's not a succession plan, that's a political reality show gone horribly wrong. First up, Galba. Old, grumpy, and apparently not great at keeping the Praetorian Guard happy. Spoiler alert, that rarely ends well. Then Otho, who thought, hey, I'll just bribe everyone. Classic move, but even that has an expiration date. Vitellius next, more interested in banquets than battles, which, makes for great TikTok food reviews, but terrible imperial strategy. And finally, Vespasian, who actually brought some much-needed stability. Seriously, after 3 dudes got yeeted off the throne, Vespasian was like, can we just chill? It was the political equivalent of juggling chainsaws on a unicycle. Utterly insane, utterly unbelievable, and somehow it happened. The Roman Empire was a hot mess, folks, a glorious, sprawling hot mess that kept everyone on the edge of their seats. The news cycle of 69 AD
broke the internet. If the internet was made of papyrus and whispers, stay tuned because the past is always wilder than you think. Subscribe for more quill-powered history. All right, History Hounds, Sir Chuckleton here. And if you thought Roman emperors juggling their jobs was wild, wait until you hear about our next bizarre discovery. Forget singing fish, we're talking about a discovery that changed everything, but probably started with someone just trying to find a snack. I'm talking about the accidental, earth-shattering discovery of gunpowder in Tang Dynasty, China. Imagine this, a bunch of alchemists, basically ancient scientists with a flair for the dramatic, are trying to find the elixir of immortality. Just your average Tuesday. They're mixing potions, chanting spells, probably spilling things everywhere. Totally relatable, right? Except, instead of finding eternal life, they accidentally invent something that will literally blow up their world and everyone else's. They mixed saltpeter, sulfur, and charcoal. Boom! Suddenly, they've got a powder that makes things go kaboom! Their initial reaction? Probably, oopsie, followed by, wait, this could be useful. At first, it was for fireworks. Seriously, the ultimate party popper. Imagine their New Year's Eve celebrations. But because humans are, human, it wasn't long before someone thought, hey, what if we put this boom powder into a bamboo tube and shoot stuff? And thus, the fire lance, the ancestor of all firearms, was born. From trying to live forever to inventing weapons that make things not live at all. The irony is thicker than a medieval stew.
This bizarre discovery wasn't just a party trick, it fundamentally altered warfare, global power dynamics, and eventually how we launch fireworks on the 4th of July. Talk about a glow-up for a science experiment gone wrong. Stay tuned, because the past is always wilder than you think. Subscribe for more quill-powered history. Ahoy, history buffs! Sir Chuckleton here. You think a CEO getting a face full of spaghetti from his robot butler is the ultimate fail? That's adorable. History's blooper reel is way longer and a whole lot wetter. We're about to dive into a story of a hilarious fail so massive it makes a pasta mishap look like a tiny smudge. Let's talk about the time a king's shiny new toy became the world's most expensive submarine. Welcome to Sweden, 1628. The CEO, King Gustavus Adolphus,
and he wanted a boat. Not just any boat, he wanted the Death Star of the Baltic Sea, the undisputed heavyweight champion of warships. This was the Vasa. It was a beast, stacked with 64 heavy bronze cannons, more gold leaf statues and carvings than a museum. It wasn't just a warship, it was a floating intimidation machine, the ultimate flex. But here's the tea. The king, our CEO, kept making last-minute changes. More cannons, he'd bellow. Make it taller. The shipbuilders, basically his engineering department, were sweating bullets. They even ran a stability test. 30 sailors ran back and forth on the deck, and the ship rocked so violently they had to stop. The ship was basically screaming, "I'm too top-heavy!" But did they listen? Nope. It was a classic case of the boss wanting the impossible. Finally, launch day arrived, August 10th. The whole city of Stockholm turned out to watch. It was like a 17th century Apple product launch. The Vasa set sail, its cannons firing in salute. It traveled a whole 1,300 meters, less than a mile. Then a gust of wind, not even a storm, just a little puff, hit the sails. The ship leaned, then it leaned a bit more, and then with the grace of a brick, it tipped over and sank, right there, in the harbor, in front of everyone. The CEO's robot butler didn't just spill the spaghetti, it flipped the entire dining table into the ocean. It was a national embarrassment of epic proportions, a floating fail whale. So next time you see a fail online, spare a thought for the Vasa, a timeless reminder that pride and too many cannons cometh before a very, very wet fall. Now that's what I call a historical faceplant. Subscribe for more quill-powered history.
Greetings, my temporal tourists. Sir Chuckleton at your service. You think sneakers that let you jump 20 feet is future is now tech? Oh, you sweet summer children. That's just a party trick. History has gadgets that would make Silicon Valley blush. We're talking about a piece of tech so advanced, finding it was like discovering a time traveler's lost luggage. Let's set the scene. The year is 1000. Divers are exploring a Roman-era shipwreck off the Greek island of Antikythera. They're finding statues, pottery, the usual sunken treasure stuff. Then they pull up this corroded, lumpy rock of bronze. For 50 years, it mostly just sat in a museum. Nobody knew what it was. A paperweight? A weird shield? Then, in the 1950s and beyond, scientists hit it with X-rays, and their jaws hit the floor. Inside that lump was a universe of complexity, an intricate system of over 30 interlocking bronze gears. It wasn't a rock, it was a machine, a computer, an analog computer from the 2nd century BC. This device, the Antikythera mechanism, wasn't for sending texts, it was for calculating the cosmos. With a turn of a knob, it could predict the position of the sun, the moon, and the 5 known planets. It showed the phases of the moon. It could even predict solar eclipses down to the hour. This was the OG Google Calendar, but for the entire solar system. It even tracked the 4-year cycle for the ancient Olympic Games. This thing was a mechanical marvel.
Nothing even close to its complexity would ever appear in human history for over 1,000 years. 1,000 years! It's like finding a fully functional laptop at a medieval fair. It's proof that the ancient world wasn't just togas and sandals, it was a place of mind-blowing innovation that got lost to time. These weren't sneakers that let you jump 20 feet. This was a device that let you leap through time itself. So want these? I want that. The future was then, folks. Subscribe for more quill-powered history.